I want to address something that was brought my way. So, yesterday I was sent this tweet, an account called PC Focus. They were mentioning how Capcom was adding Enigma protector to their games. And the example they used in their tweet is very weird. First of all, let me read through the tweet first. DRM Enigma gave 34 virus positive. Capcom started to add this DRM to their old games. All behind this company is So Shady. It's developed by a Russian company with no name or address and sold through a website which domain name was paid for through a friend based in Moscow, Russia. Capcom has a history of deceptively installing malware in people's computer. Do not play any game with this DRM. The Russian part is kind of ironic if you look at their profile. I do not see how them being in Russia is questionable. Anyways, let me address the problem I have with this tweet. This was brought my way because people thought I was a malware guy, so I want to put my 2 cents into this. So first of all, I went ahead to take a look at this particular hash. If you look up this hash, you'll see that it says most of the detections here are, fairly benign, especially if they're just picking up as Enigma protector, which is like whatever. We already know that it's packed by Enigma. Now the problem here is if you look at the details, the file isn't even signed by Capcom, and it's using the demo license of the Enigma protector. So, first of all, it's not even related to Capcom. There's no Capcom anywhere in the executable. No idea what Zodiac game does, but it's definitely not a Capcom product. And it's signed using a demo version of Enigma. So it's not even directly related to the tweet. If you look at what I said here, first of all, the executable shown in the image doesn't even belong to Capcom. All Capcom games are signed, and this one doesn't even have Capcom anywhere in the title and the executable. And the executable was actually submitted 2 years ago, so it's not even new. Not only does it not belong to Capcom, it also is not new. The other thing is, Capcom started using Enigma ages ago. So if you look up assign signature Capcom comment Enigma protector, the reason why I'm using comment instead of using the engines tag is because I do find the detection comments made by Thor to be a lot accurate than the general detections in the engine name. You'll see that Capcom started doing this ages ago. So if you look up first scene ascending, they started doing that last March with RE5. So it's not even that new. Them using Enigma is not news, yet this tweet is claiming it to be. And you'll notice that all of them are signed, and well, that's because I did the tag signed here. But yeah, all of them are signed, therefore the detection rates are much lower. And that's not saying that signed executables are not malware, but a lot of times, I guess there's a reputation-based rating from all these engines. Anyways, Enigma is not a DRM or solution, DRM solution or product. If you look at the comment from this clueless guy here, they say Capcom is trying to prevent modding and cheats by adding DRM, which is not what Enigma does. Enigma is a protector, is basically a packer like Themida or VM Protect. It is a virtual machine implementation, or at least I think, if I remember correctly, Enigma is a virtual machine implementation, much like VM Protect. Put in layman's term. So if I want to do a calculation, let's say 1 + 1, in assembly language, that's going to be super easy. That's going to only be like a few lines. But with the virtual machine implementation, what they've basically done is they're going to complicate this 1 + 1 thing into like they basically let's say re-implement the add function, for example. And so it's going to go through a whole sets of instructions that make it way more complicated, which makes analysis and tampering much harder. Protectors like these are all over the place. There are solutions that are For example, what I mentioned like before, the VM Protect. There are also plenty of other commercial solutions that are built by legitimate companies. That's not saying VM Protect is not made by a legitimate company. It is. But, you know, a lot of people think, oh, they're based in Russia. That makes them not legitimate, which I think is a really narrow mindset and should be discouraged. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Enigma is not a DRM solution. It does not check for internet access or anything like that. It just basically obfuscates the whole game away and makes tampering and basically toying around with it a lot harder. That does not make it not moddable. For example, if we take a look at Denuvo, right? Denuvo also has something very similar, but people can still mod Denuvo games depending on the protection level that Denuvo target implements. I've never worked with Denuvo directly, but based on what I know and their documentation is that the developer can specify how much of protection they want. And if we look at other games from, let's say Sega has had a history of using Denuvo in their games. That does not make their games not moddable, though. One of the games I worked directly with was Miku 39, a Megamix Plus on PC. We were able to come up with a mod loader within like first few days of the game's release, because the Denuvo protection applied on there is actually fairly benign. Even though a lot of the instructions were obfuscated away, we can still perfectly read instructions that are very similar to the PDAFT build. So these things do not necessarily make the game not moddable. It's a case-by-case basis, but just saying that Enigma is there does not necessarily mean it's anti-modding or anything like that. And back to what I was saying is that Enigma is not a DRM thing. A lot of people read this tweet and were like, oh, Enigma is a DRM that Capcom is putting on their game. That's straight up false. That is not a thing that happens, because the Enigma is not a DRM solution. Let me move on to the next thing. Enigma is based in Russia, which was one of the questionable things that the original tweet supposed, which again is very ironic because this tweet's owner is apparently Russian, so I don't know how that's relevant. Enigma is also based in Russia, and much like VMP, VM Protect is also based in Russia and is used by millions worldwide. You can't just claim something is malware because it is made by a country not liked by many. Virtualization solutions like these are also plenty. They're all over the place. Could Capcom have picked something better? Yes, there are plenty more better virtualization and anti-analysis, anti-tampering solutions out there. Or better yet, they could have just not had obfuscation in there in the first place, or any DRM solution, which again, Enigma is not a DRM solution. Posts like these absolutely piss me off because they promote misinformation. A lot of people don't actually read into this, and if you look at the original tweet in the replies, you'll see that a lot of people were very convinced by the original tweet. And unfortunately, my tweet here is basically buried by the Twitter algorithm. My tweet only had like 100 views. Like, it's not even giving anyone a chance to debunk this thing. So the main reason why this tweet pissed me off so much was because they used a completely irrelevant example. They basically picked a random sample that was packed by Enigma, and they're like, oh, Capcom is packing their games with malware, which just doesn't make any sense to me. If you come back to this this comment that wasn't here before, I won't be buying more Capcom games at this point. I've had enough with Street Fighter V malware rootkit. I don't know where this claim even came from. What rootkit are they talking about? As far as I know, they never had like a quote-unquote rootkit. And like, you read comments like these and it's just extremely idiotic. Like, it really is just stupid, in my opinion. That's the whole 2 cents I want to throw in here, just real quick, because I was seeing this, and I saw a lot of gaming news website actually also carried on with this original tweet, and they were like, oh, Capcom is now rolling back the DRM, which again, it's not a DRM in the first place. Yeah, a lot of gaming journalisms are just like, okay, DRM,